Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. In today's video, we're talking about the perceived difficulty of the King of Fighters franchise, and I guess specifically about King of Fighters 15, in that it's more than a bit overblown, and you can actually make things even a lot easier than they already are. If you've been using YouTube at all for the last couple of years and you see anything King of Fighters related, it's probably some YouTuber's face on a thumbnail and saying, "These combos are crazy, the hardest game ever." And I feel like that's done a lot of damage in making King of Fighters appear much more difficult than it actually is. Almost always has to do with the King of Fighters 13 trials, and those trials were made for like series veterans. Almost the majority of the difficult trials you see aren't even real match practical combos. You would never even do anything like that. Like, a lot of combo structure in this game is simply close normal into a command normal into a special move and then maybe a super. Like, realistically, that's 90% of the combos that are going to be happening. Or doing something like crouching light into a basic hit confirm into your combo. Like, realistically, these are what the combos are in the end. And when you see big crazy super after super after super, well, that's just part of the game, right? Like, that's not a big deal. Like, yes, this is going to do a hojillion damage for sure. Like, that's 90%, but it's just doing a super, then another super, then another super. So just before we get to where we're getting, I just want to assuage your fears on that. Now, that said, everything I just showed you, there's ways to make this way easier, and that's with the button trick. Now, what exactly is the button trick? Well, it's about as simple as it sounds. You pick a button and you hold it. And what it does when you hold a button, or say a combination of buttons in this game, it repeats that button press over and over and over and over. And if you inputted a certain motion beforehand, it also attempts to repeat that motion. So let me show you a general example here, as this works for special moves and super moves. So say Shermie knocks me down. All right, and you want to do like wake up uppercut. Reversal, your wake up invincible move. And you can manually time it if you want, but right there, see, I manually timed it and I missed my reversal window, so I didn't do it frame one. I kind of screwed up. But the thing is, if I just do the motion and then hold the button, what will happen is instead, it'll do it at the soonest possible availability of the move. Right there. So I was holding the button quite a few frames before I actually got up. And then the frame I was allowed to do the rising tackle, that's when it came out. And it can make stuff like wake up so much easier because it basically minimizes the element of timing that you need. Now, it doesn't last forever. Like, if I do it like right here, like, it's not going to hold the buffer forever. I don't know the exact number. I think it's around 10-ish frames that'll hold the input. So you basically can just enter any kind of reversal or any special move in any situation early, hold the button, and then at which point it'll come out the first possible frame. So that's how it works in that situation. Now, let's use combos. Now, for combos, this works for both specials and supers. So to give an example here, very basic combo. So once again here, close heavy, command normal, special. Bread and butter in King of Fighters, right? So while I'm doing the command normal, I can input my fan for my and just hold the button and it will come out first possible frame. As you can see here, we'll play it in slow-mo. I hit and held the button quite a bit earlier than the actual fan coming out. So it's just repeating the motion and the button over and over and over every frame until it can finally come out, and then it does. Now let's use an example here with a super move. We'll use quarter circle forward punch. So this is my flame pillar, right? And we'll go for a basic B&B combo, and we'll show the power of the held button press. As you can see, once again, I was holding the button quite a bit before the actual super came out. And then, when it was possible on the first possible frame for the super to activate, that's when it came through. This also can apply to situations where it's not just the hit connects and then you go into your move. It can also be in juggle situations as well. So right there, the EX version of Ninja Bees cannot cancel into that grounded super. I have to land, recover, and then do it. But thanks to the button hold trick, I can enter just a little bit early before my recovery is done, and then it will come out the first possible frame. If you try to manually time that combo, you will find yourself potentially just dropping it. It's not the easiest on the timing, but thanks to this trick, you can forego the timing, just do the motion, hold the buttons, and then it'll do the timing for you. Now, once again, same example here. You can't do it too early, right? It only holds the buffer for about 10-ish frames, but it does let you do basically everything just a little bit earlier than you should, and then you always get it right when you want it. Just to reiterate one more time, with a different character and a bit more complex of a motion. So Shermie, her grab super is double half circle forward. So I know some people, they don't like those, right? And it can take you a little bit longer to input. So off her anti-air grab here, you can do this move. But, you know, it takes a little bit. So you can enter the move much earlier, then hold the buttons, and then it'll come out. So you can see there, I press the button here some frames before we hit the ground, and it's just waiting for its time. I'm holding the button the whole time, and then on the first possible frame, then the grab super comes out. So this stuff is very helpful. And that's about the long and short of it. So once again here, just holding buttons, repeats the button over and over and over, and repeats the motions before it over and over and over. And doing those can make things come out as early as possible. It makes things a lot easier. This applies for all specials, this applies for all supers. We showed situations for combos, we showed situations for like wake up reversals. It works in block strings as well. So holding the button right there after block, if you have a reversal or a special move you know can punish another move, but saying manual timing could be a little difficult, just input it a bit early, use the button trick, and it'll come out on the first possible frame. And also there's a lot of little other things just to make your life a lot easier for combos besides the button trick. That's the main part of the video, but just to showcase some other stuff. So Robert has two supers here. His Hao Shokoken, that's forward, half circle forward, and then your button for the big old fireball. And the Ranbu, which is quarter circle forward, half circle back, and punch. And then you do like 1.5 billion hits, right? These are classics. And you think, okay, now how do I use these in combos? One of his main juggle starters is just using a plain old uppercut, right? Like say I hit you with the X command grab. And the primary juggle at that point is going to be light uppercut. And light uppercut being forward, down, down, forward, that has all the parts of both supers. The forward, obviously enough, right? For the fireball, that's the starter of the move. And forward, down, down, forward, well, those are the same motions as quarter circle forward. So you can do either super very easily. So you can just go dragon punch and then go half circle forward punch and you'll get the big fireball very easily. Or you can do dragon punch and then half circle back punch. And then you get the Ranbu. So you don't have to re-enter everything. You can use the input buffer to your advantage. Certain things with longer, more complex motions aren't as bad once you take these things into account. So I'll show you a little bit of a combo and I'll use all these things together. And there you go. So I use the input shortcut trick to get the Ranbu super easier because I already did part of the motion with the uppercut, so why spend more time, right? And also the button hold trick at the end just to make sure I had the timing perfect. So my friends, I hope that gives you some confidence going into the King of Fighters 15. It truly isn't as scary as a game as you think of, even on a base level before these tricks. And with tricks like these, it can make the game just a lot easier in the end overall as well. That all said, now we're at the end of the video, so thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some King of Fighters.